There's a lot of similarities, I think, between your personal philosophy and Jordan Peterson's. I know you've spoken to him a couple of times. What have you learned from him?
Well, the most interesting thing that I learned from Jordan Peterson, and I mentioned this the first time he came on my podcast, was that he's a trained academic that studied this stuff his whole life, and we came to a lot of the same conclusions about things. And I just came to those conclusions through living and the experiences that I had, and he came to them through studying this stuff in a very rigorous way. And the cool thing is, luckily for me, I had written books that sort of predated.
I got there first.
Yeah,
I got there first.
It wasn't that I got there first, but I mean, these were the thoughts that I had. I mean, Discipline Equals Freedom. That book came out, I think, before Jordan Peterson was on the scene. It's the book Extreme Ownership, which is about taking personal responsibility. Well, it's about taking responsibility, and you can definitely apply it to personal responsibility. So luckily for me, those books kind of predated Jordan Peterson coming onto the scene and doing everything that he did. But again, it's not like I created any of those things. It's not like I created it before he created it, and it's not like he created it before other philosophers had figured these things out. So I'd say that the most interesting thing about Jordan Peterson that I found, and I think it was pretty interesting to him too, was the fact that we both had kind of come to these same conclusions, and we had lived very different lives. I mean, I'm sure there's more disparate lives that we could have lived, but they're pretty different lives. And that was a very interesting thing. And it made me feel like, well, it made me feel good about the fact that the things that I had figured out were in line with things that he had figured out. And that means maybe there's a little bit more strength and universality to these things that I believed, which felt pretty good.
I was going to pause there. Do you want to go and see if there's someone stealing things outside?
If there's someone stealing things, can you let me know?
It looks like they're bringing things in. That's the opposite. It's nice to know or to think that something that's been proven in the field of battle or on the field of play is backed up in academia, right? That someone can go through the annals of philosophy history and come to a similar conclusion as you.
Yeah, absolutely. And the stuff that I say is in the Bible, the stuff that I say is in Stoicism, and Jordan Peterson, says the stuff that I say, or I say the stuff that he says. Again, I'm not trying to compete with Jordan Peterson on any level, especially some kind of an intellectual level, but we have similar thoughts about things, and that predated either one of us knowing who each other were. So I think that's pretty cool.